Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of One Man Stream. And this is actually my layout for Streamdeck, and I'll go ahead and bring some of these graphics in for you. This right here is just preview camera 1, preview camera 2, preview camera 3, and preview camera 4. And then I also have these 4 cameras going to program as well. And you can see here by the red tally on program camera 3, the red tally indicates that that is live. Now, if I bring in camera 1 into preview, you can see that that turns green. This button down here is what I use for the fighters. For each one of the fighters, we have a matchup slate that the promoters generally will give me. So I'll bring that into preview, and then I have these 2 buttons right here, next slide and previous slide, and those allow me to go through the different slides that we have. So when I know that I have the correct one, I'll come up here to where it says slate to program on overlay 3, and I'll click on it, and you'll see where it comes in to overlay 3, which happened to be where I also had my image. So let's go ahead and take that out. I have it set up as a toggle, so if I click it again, it's going to get rid of it. Right here I have our company logo. Right here I have the sponsor logo. Right here I have special text, and all this does is it brings the special text in and out. Now this right here is actually the special text. I have it actually set up on this button right here that actually has a little bit of automation to it. So let me go ahead and take that out of overlay 3, and then if I want to change it, like I want to show who the ring announcer is, I use this drop down menu and I select Brady L. Davis. Then I'll go ahead and I'll click this that says show special text. And you'll notice that there's a green hue around this button, and that means that I have some scripting in it, and some scripting is going on. And you can see that it stays in about 5 seconds and then it comes back out. I have a solo graphic right there that brings in the fighter solo graphic. I have a pre-fight graphic. And I'll go ahead and click that off. And then over here I have another drop down menu that gives me the weight class. So say I'll click on 150 pounds, and then I'll bring that pre-fight splash in again. And you can see now it indicates 150 pounds. Now this right here is the fighter with lower images. This is how it's controlled up here. I'm going to pause it. Actually, I'm going to stop it, and when I stop it, it resets the timer. Let me take it away, and I have a button here that says start round, and this puts a lot of automation into motion. You can see where the graphic comes in along with the fighters' names. It's going to count down to 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and then the small bug comes in, and then I have some automation set up on the timer. This is going to go away, and it's going to bring in the names of the fighters and then whether they're in the red or the blue corner. Focus for today is right here. It's Streamdeck along with Bitfocus Companion. And this is what the Bitfocus Companion interface looks like. And you can see right here that I have 2 of the modules activated. I have the vMix module activated and the BirdDog PTZ module activated. You have this whole list of things here, and I mean this is a very, very expansive list. You have a bunch of mixers, you have you have Behringer mixers here, you have BirdDog Central, you have BirdDog PTZ, BirdDog Studio, NDI. You have all these Blackmagic products. And then if you go down here, all the way down here at the bottom, and there's the vMix. So whenever you want to add one of these modules, all you do is click the add button and it brings it over here. And then it'll tell you the status of whether it's connected or not. There's generally very little you have to do in order for these modules to communicate with one another. But here's the really cool part. You go over here to where it says buttons, and it shows you the layout that we have. So let's go back to this one right here. This was our main layout. On the top row here, we have where we preview the cameras. Then right here, we have the program, sending them to program. We have right here is a fight poster. This right here was the fighter slates to program. This right here is a fighter matchup. I didn't use it in the production I was demonstrating. The pre-fight splash is what I showed you that comes up on the right-hand side that has the fighters' names, along with how many rounds the bout's going to be, and then also the weight class. I have the promotional information on here. I also have a sponsor row, and then down here I have the overlays where I can turn the overlay channels off and on. Now all of these come Let's go ahead and click on one of the buttons. So right here, I clicked on the Preview Camera 1 button, and you can see, well, let me show you this. Let me go back here to where it says Presets. Here is all the vMix presets that we have. We have for different mixes, we have a button shift, audio, we have where you can turn your audio up and down. We have different things for vMix call. This is just to start a script or stop a script. Multi-view, you can turn different layers within your multi-view off and on, which is really, really cool. If you make a really complex scoreboard and you want to hide components, this is another way that you could do it. Outputs, you can output in a variety of different ways. Overlays, Program Overlay 1, Program Overlay 2, along with Preview Overlay 1, 2, 3, and 4, Overlay 1 in, Overlay 2, 3, and 4 in, and these are the overlays out. You can turn the overlays off. You can zoom on an overlay. Just a lot of functionality already built into this. And the cool thing about it is it's all presets. And you'll see in just a minute, all you have to do is select the input and the program takes care of the rest of it. And if I didn't mention it, Bitfocus Companion is a free program. Right here is playlists. You can start a playlist and stop a playlist. Replay, you have all these different things that you can do with replay. And I'm going to have another video where I'm using vMix, I'm using Companion, I'm using X keys, and I'm using Central Control. And it makes it so easy to do my replay setup, and that's going to be a really cool tutorial. That one's going to be a lengthy one. Titles and graphics, you have all kinds of different things you can do with your titles and graphics. Transitions, there's all your transitions right there. You can set the times on your transitions. Video playback, you can mark in and out video clips. You can move ahead 10 seconds. You can go back 10 seconds. And then the last thing is vMix functions. So let's go back to presets again. Let's go back. And then these are the BirdDog PTZ ones. You can do, I didn't mess with the advanced setup a whole lot. This is messing with a lot of the camera settings. And although I use BirdDog products and I love BirdDog products, the thing that I like about them is they work right out of the box and I don't have to tweak them a whole lot. Sometimes under low lighting conditions I do, but I don't have to do a lot of tweaking. These are the audio controls right here. Camera controls, this is awesome. All you have to do is put in the IP address of your PTZ camera, and it takes care of everything else. All you got to do is drag these buttons into your production, and I'll show you how you do that real quick. Say you wanted to just do your left and right movements of your camera. You just bring it in here like this. That would be movement left. This would be movement right. And then you would program them. You can see that I have done nothing at all because when I brought that module in, it asked me what camera it was. I said it was a P200, and it asked me what my IP address was, and I put in the IP address. Now all you have to do is drag these keys over to your Streamdeck and populate your Streamdeck, and Bitfocus Companion takes care of the rest of it. Well, you can look at the rest of these. Encoder setup, general camera, white balance. You can balance your blue gamma and your red gamma. You can change that up and down. Picture, there's different effects. It's just, there's just an awful lot that you can do here. Presets, that's one that I use. It does your presets from 1 to 9. If you have a whole lot of presets, or if you just have a few presets, Bitfocus Companion is the way to go. It makes it so easy. Now, as you can see, I have several different things set up here. This is the one that I'm using for my presets and for the camera controls. And then this next one here is for once I have a particular camera or preset chosen, I can use these controls here to control it further. And I'll show you how we do that. Let's just go ahead and bring this into program, and let me go down to right here, and this is going to be the preset. So right now we're on preset 2. So if I put this right here, right there it says recall preset 1. If I push on that, it's going to bring you to this wide view here. If I push on preset 2, it's going to bring it right there. And it's very easy to set your preset. So now we're going to go to right here, and this is where the camera controls are. So I'm just going to push this button. It's going to take me over this way. It's going to take me over this way. You can go up and down. You know what? I don't just have plain up on here. Let's fix that. So we have our presets here. Let's go back. Let's go to camera control. All right, so here's straight up. So we'll drag this in here, and this is straight down, and we'll drag this in here. And you can see as I was doing that, it automatically incorporated it in our layout. So all I did was drag this down button to right here and this up button to right here. And as you can see, it automatically incorporated it in our Streamdeck. So if I push on it, and you can adjust the controls. I have the speed set a little high, and you can go wide with this, clicking the wide button. You can go telephoto with this, clicking the telephoto button, center a little bit. Now that I've showed you my layout on the Streamdeck, let's go on back over to the Companion interface, and I'll show you exactly how I set up those buttons and what the commands are behind the buttons. If you look at the menu bar here right now, this is showing the connections, and I went over this a bit earlier. This will show the buttons, and this is how we're actually going to manipulate the buttons and add the different commands in. Here you can add surfaces, and this is where I added the Streamdeck XL in. And it's very simple. Actually, when you initiate the software, it does a scan of any USB devices that you have connected to your computer, and it automatically brings those in. And I just gave it a very simple name of Streamdeck XL. This next tab here is for triggers. This is just the settings tab for your initial settings. And you can see there are quite a few settings that you can put in there if you'd like. And then here would be a log. As you can see, I haven't downloaded it yet, but there's a brand new version, 2.4.2. So we'll go over here to buttons, and all of these buttons here on this particular layout, and this is the one we're going to cover in depth right now, these are all vMix. And we went through the different vMix ones, and I'll show you exactly what commands are triggering these individual buttons. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to push on preview camera. The first thing I did is I gave it a name, which is preview camera, and you'll see that right here. You can change the font size. So if you have some lengthy names for the buttons, you can make it smaller so you can get all that information in. You can change the background color, and you can change the fill color on the text right here. You can also do a latch and toggle where you click it and it stays activated, and you click it again and it deactivates it. And this is what I did right here on my camera 1 is actually in my layout. It's actually input number 30. So I came over here and put input 30, and you can do many different mixes with Companion, but I did all these on mix 1. And then for tally and feedback, this is where I get the color. I again put input 30 in here, and for the background color I changed it to green. So when any of my cameras are going to be in preview, they're going to be green. Let's go to the next one underneath of it, and this is program 1 for camera 1, and you can see again we have input 30, which was camera 1. But here, this time, since it's program, the feedback or the tally that I want to use is red. So you can see right now that my camera 2 is actually active, and you can see the background on it is red right here. So all of these buttons on this row right here are preview. So all I did on each one of these is I brought in the input. Camera 2 was input 39, camera 3 input 29, camera 4 input 32. And if you go down here on the setup on all these preview camera buttons, the background color is going to be green. Let's go back to this one. Background color is green. Preview of camera 2, background color is green. Now back to program, let's look at this one right here. This is input 29, camera 3, background color is going to be red when activated. You can see the input number right here. If you don't put anything in here, or you put the wrong input, you're not going to get the correct tally feedback. So you got to make sure this input number here matches this input number here. So when this one is activated, this is program camera 4 button. which is input 32, we're going to get a red background. Now let's go ahead and look at this one here for Fight Poster. It's a little bit different. What I'm doing, the command that I'm using here is toggle overlay 3 on program. So what I'm doing is I'm toggling overlay 3, I'm just turning it on and off in program, and I have this button set to input 5. So let's see what input 5 is. Input 5 is our Fight Poster, like it says, and it is a toggle switch, so when I click it again, it'll take us back to where we were. Well, let me backtrack. On this preview button right here, what I did is I went to presets, I clicked on Studio Coast vMix, I just clicked on Mix 1, and then I chose this button right here for, what I did is I just drug it over to an open space. Actually I did Preview 1, Preview 2, Preview 3, and Preview 4, and I just brought those into open spaces. And then for Program, I did the same thing, drug Program 1, Program 2, Program 3, Program 4, and then after I brought those buttons in, then all I did is I clicked on the buttons and linked it to an input. The shortcut, all the background stuff is actually contained in that preview shortcut button that you drag over, so all you have to do after that is just link it to a particular input. And that's what I did on all these preview keys and all these program keys. This one's a little bit different. The shortcut that I used was toggle overlay 1 on program. So this is going to bring in input 3 on overlay 1, and I set it up as a toggle, so I push it once, it's going to bring it in, and you can see that overlay comes in, and I push it again, and the overlay goes away. So where did that shortcut come from? Well, let's go back over here to presets, Studio Coast, we're going to click on overlays, and this is where the shortcut came in, overlay 1 in. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do this from scratch on one of these overlay buttons. So I clicked on Studio Coast vMix, I came over to here where it says overlays, and I'm just going to do this one right here, program overlay 1. So let's bring that in, and then when we click on it, it brings in all the functionality within this button. Well, if you look under here under this drop down menu, and it tells you right here the press action in vMix is going to be an overlay function. So you come over here and it says select overlay function. So you click this drop down menu and there's all kinds of things. You can set it off, you can set it on, you can toggle it to preview, you can toggle it to program. So what I did is I set this one up as a toggle. So let's click right here. And for this example right here, I'm going to use a different input. Let's go with input number 36. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put 36 in here again. This is going to be my tally feedback. So, and it already pre-populates this for you. When it's in preview, it's going to be green. And when it's in program, it's going to be red. So let's go ahead and test the button. And that is indeed the input that we mapped it to. So it brings in this high octane GE Fights. And if I click on the button again, it takes it away. So that's how you set up one of these program buttons from scratch. It's very, very simple. So I'll just show you how you delete it. If you want to get rid of it, you click on it, you click delete, click on it. As a safety mechanism, it's asks you if you want to clear that bank, and you hit clear and it gets rid of that button. Same thing, we did a toggle overlay this time. We used that same overlay button right here. But this time we did it to program overlay 2, because this one is going to be on overlay 2. We used the same function on this one and this one actually. This is going to be special text. It's on overlay 3, and this is the boxing lower third, and it's also going to be on overlay 3. These will not be on at the same time, so that's why these are on the exact same overlay channel. So let's go ahead and click this one. You can see it as toggle overlay 2. We just drug that in, chose it from the drop down menu. We're using this with input 15 on both of them. You can again see that the preview is pre-populated. It's going to be in green, and the program is going to be in red. So let's go ahead and test this button out. Just click on test, and you can see in the upper right hand corner where the promotional logo comes in. So I'm going to click it again, and it's going to take it away, and that's only because this button is set up as a toggle. So let's go with this one here, which is special text. The exact same thing. This is toggle overlay 3 on program. So when I push this button, it's automatically going to go to program. We're using input 23. So I got the background set as orange. It's input 23. It's also input 23 on the tally feedback, and it's on overlay channel 3. If you wanted to change the overlay channel, you can certainly do it from the drop-down menu. So we're going to keep it on overlay channel 3. It's input 23. So let's go ahead and test this one. So we got to click on the button again. We're going to click on test. And you can see where this lower third comes in. Push on it again, and it takes it away. Here's our boxing lower third. Let's go ahead and click on that. You got to push the test button. There we go. And that brings it in. It's on a toggle, so I'll press it again, and it takes it away. And we click on this logo, this button right here. You can see it's set up for another input, a different input 16. We also have 16 set up here, so we have the feedback for the correct input. Again, it's pre-populated with green and red for the preview and program color. And if you want to change it down the road, you can always use these drop-down menus to change the overlay function as well as the overlay channel. This one right here is Slate Preview Overlay 3. So we'll click on this one. It's going to be a little bit different. We are toggling overlay 3 on the preview. We're not sending it to program. We're sending it to preview. We have the option of sending it to program, but we are sending this one to preview. That's what we chose from the drop-down menu. Okay, so this is our layout, and this is what we've been working on. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you. I click the button here, and then I'm going to go up here to test. And when I click on it, you can see in the preview window right here that the fight poster came in. Now when I want to toggle through it, I'll use these buttons right here. This next button and this previous button. So let's click on the next button. So let's go to presets. We'll click on vMix. So we'll click on titles and graphics. And then we come here to, and the two buttons we used were next title and previous title. I did change their names over here to next slide and previous slide. So all I did is I just pulled these over into the buttons. That brings all the shortcuts and everything into it automatically. And then all you have to do is go back and map it to a specific input. So this one right here is mapped to input 31. And this one right here for previous slide is also mapped to input 31. Input 31 is my list. And all I want to do is I want to go forward and backwards in that list. Okay, so I'll bring this back in. Let's click our Slate Preview button and then click Test. And you can see where it brings it in preview right here, because that is indeed what we had it set on, was to bring it to preview. And then we'll click the next slide button, and it takes us to the next image in that list. We're going to click it again. It's going to take us to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, and so forth. When I get to the end of the list, or if I skip something and need to go back, then that's when I use the previous slide button, which is right here. And all I had to do after I pulled that shortcut in was map it to input 31, or to connect it to input 31. And then every time I hit preview or previous slide, it's going to take me ahead one. So let's bring this back in, and I'm going to hit previous slide, and you can see where it's bringing me back up in the list, back to the beginning. Now these next buttons that I have here are turning the overlay channels off and on. And we use the exact same buttons. We'll come over here, overlays. I just pulled these over. Program overlay 1, program overlay 2, program overlay 3, program overlay 4. From the drop-down menu, select what you want to do. So instead of it being toggle something off or on into program or preview, what I wanted to do was I want to set that overlay channel off. So let's go ahead and bring in some items. Hold on just a second. We're going to bring this this and that in. And you can see when I activate those, how these buttons here turn red. So I have, not only do these buttons turn red because I have them activated, it's also showing that the overlay channel is activated as well. So if I want to turn off overlay channel 3, I would just click this button right here on my Streamdeck, overlay channel 3. Let's go ahead and click test. And you can see where this button that had the logo on it turns back orange, and the red goes away, which means it's no longer activated. We're going to do the same thing for overlay channel 2. We're going to turn that off. Exact same thing. Overlay channel 2 goes off and the sponsor bug goes off. And let's go ahead and do the same thing for overlay channel 3. Hit the test button and overlay channel 3 goes off as well. And that button changes from, the special text button changes from red back to orange. And I also have one for clear all, and set all overlay channels off is the command for that. So let's go ahead and turn those 3 channels back on. And we're going to select this key right here and press test. And you can see it turns all that off. Other 2 things that I have here, the fighter matchup I haven't been using, so I have that deactivated right now. The pre-fight splash, let's click on that. You can see that's just a toggle overlay 1 to program. We have that set for input 8. Let's just go ahead and test that. And you can see where it brings in that pre-fight splash. Now, I know a lot of people watching this may not be familiar with Bitfocus Companion. I did mention that it is a free program. I'm going to do a short tutorial. It's probably going to be one of the Q&A style tutorials. It's going to be a little bit shorter, and I'm going to show you how you can download and install and get started with Bitfocus Companion. Okay, that will conclude our tutorial today where we used vMix, a Streamdeck XL, and Bitfocus Companion, which is a free program. And as I said, I will do a follow-up Q&A tutorial, show you where you can get Bitfocus Companion, how you can download it, and then how you can install it, and then just doing the initial setup with it. That doesn't mean that it's replacing vMix UTC. It never will. For me, vMix UTC, I absolutely love it. It's something that I use in every single one of my productions, and it's something that I'm going to continue to use. But the combination of vMix UTC and a Streamdeck and Bitfocus Companion, it allows me to do so much. If you like what we're doing here, please give us a thumbs up and a like, and make sure that you do subscribe so that you'll be alerted as soon as new videos are posted. And as always, thank you so much.